and 4 companies, that we start to connect those entities as well, because not everyone is able to be a major prime contractor or tier 1 supplier. Those companies are pretty well known in just about every single industry and sector here in the United States. So it's identifying those sub opportunities for development as well. And so we look forward to that. I'm very excited about the leadership that I see on this panel, and our ability as the National Business League, working with BNC International, MBDA, and also our now conduit on the continent, the Black Business Council. This is going to be a huge historic opportunity for us to identify opportunities and to begin discussions, and again, to link the counterparts here with our corporate partners who are obviously want to be engaged as well, and how to further develop our suppliers on a global platform. And so I think this is unique. I can celebrate several major Black companies that have grown tremendously throughout the United States in terms of manufacturing, and some of the opportunities that were mentioned just a second ago. Again, we have several major logistics companies, James Group International, $600 million logistics company, an international travel company. I can also mention major manufacturers such as Bridgewater Interiors, over $1 billion, the Pistons Group, over $1 billion, and these are Black-owned firms. MPS Group, $200 million company, et cetera, that would be folks who can immediately come into a situation and either joint venture, partner, mentor, or coach on the continent to produce the results that South African businesses are looking for, and also the Black Business Council.
Absolutely. Judy, did you want to add?
You know, because of the COVID disruption, normally what would happen with a summit of this nature, you would have the bulk of the work would be the B2Bs, and people would start looking at the strategy and the budget horizons. If we take the Massmart example of the 600 products, you whittle it down to 25. So once you have line of sight of what products are required and what commodities you need to source in order to provide those products, then the business and their counterparts begin to find each other. Because, you know, it doesn't matter how sophisticated we think we are, that your success in any territory or any geography is finding the right partner. And once you have that partner, you can collectively grow your businesses in your respective geographies. So the Business Council, together with our counterparts in America, all we can do is facilitate, but business will happen without us as well. We're very aware of that. So I think what is exciting with the 3 major brands and our dynamic leaders here today is they've given us a taste of what the future's looking like. You know, we are all re-emerging, and now everyone's hungry. So we need to facilitate. We have our database. You know, we have 2 million individual members. We are divided into sectors. Our partnership agreement has delineated 4 key areas, but does not exclude other areas. Because I was sharing with Lorato that the creative industries, which is one of your biggest industries globally, whether it's the platform, whether it's the channel, whether it's content aggregation or distribution, you know, there is a multi-trillion-dollar business. And I know in South Africa, our creators want to work with the Black Hollywood, you know, Atlanta as opposed to Hollywood. So this is the beginning, and I have no doubt that our office is going to be bombarded. So please share the details of our office with your members and vice versa, so that we can find each other. You know, in South Africa, we have a commitment to 40% procurement. I'm delighted that Coca-Cola is already at 45%, where we are asking for 40% of all procurement to be set aside for women, but obviously women who are in the business. And for the African Continental Free Trade Area, we are also looking for that explosion when it comes to women business. So again, it was music to my ears hearing the previous presentation around how women and women entrepreneurs are just blowing the lights out. So there are sectors where we can collaborate. And then, of course, in the BBC, we have the Black Business Council Women's Alliance, and we work collaboratively across all sectors. But irrespective, you've got to start at tier 4, then go to 2, then, so small steps at a time. And then, of course, Elon Musk is taking us to Mars. So, you can play in that league as well. An amazing South African. So, today is the beginning, and I think there's new energy. You have a new administration. We have our own challenges, but we need to create jobs.
You're absolutely correct. And this has been an absolutely wonderful session. I thank all of the panelists for participating. We've come up on time on this session. This is a large discussion. Every response has created almost 3 or 4 different questions and opportunities for solutions. I'm sure that everyone who's listening, their wheels are spinning just as mine are as well in terms of the follow-up. And I'll offer this remaining time that we have for any closing remarks from any of the panel members on this session, on how we move forward from here. And how we roll up our sleeves and collaborate to really engage on the work of this very, very timely theme.
I've said my piece. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Larry. Much appreciated, and thank you for facilitating the conversation for everyone, including the participants. We have now come to the last part of our program. Thank you so much for staying with us and sticking with us throughout the day. As we said, this has been a long overdue conversation, and it's quite timely, and it's important that we start such conversations, because our economic recovery will not happen without partnerships, without collaboration. And really the reason for us coming together today was to build bridges and to create wins. I think these are some of the terms that were used today. So that's really what we came here for. I wanted to start by, first of all, thanking our ambassador in the United States, Ambassador Nomaindia Mfeketo, without whom we wouldn't have this platform today, because she initiated the conversations and started to build the discourse and actually create the necessary value proposition that we needed to take on board as South African government and the American government, similarly with business. So thank you so much, Your Excellency. And for the political guidance we also received from Minister Ibrahim Patel, and the support from the US government in the Department of Commerce specifically. So thank you very much for that. Now, most of you, of course, having stayed with us for the day, will ask the question, now what? You've heard all the good input from the panelists, the political leadership has given us guidance, and you're probably asking yourself, okay, is this just going to die in the water? So the plan is that we have the summit as an annual event. And we certainly have made that commitment on our end, similarly with our partners that you heard from today, so that on an annual basis, we begin to review progress on how far we've come in building the bridge between the US minority business, specifically Black business, and South African business, Black business specifically. So what we are planning to do, firstly, it's important to underscore that the Black Business Council, the Black Business Council, as well as the National Business League and BNC International, have entered into an agreement that now they have to execute. They have to make sure that they reach the targets there too. And this international cooperation framework agreement, the agenda in there is that they're going to work together on creating platform for SAU Black industrialists. They are going to work together to create or to stimulate small, medium enterprise development, as well as skills development, among other collaborative platforms. So it's important then that those in the US, as well as those in South Africa, you begin to engage with these institutions, because this agreement will be one of the anchors for our way forward. The plan then is that we have, and hopefully, depending on the COVID situation, we have an in-person summit next year. I did mention that we plan for this to be an annual event, to have an in-person summit where we can then have business persons and B2B, business-to-business engagements between US and South Africa in person. And on our end, as government, again, working with business, we plan then to have strategic roundtables in between the summit, so that we can prepare and set the agenda for the summit, whether it's a roundtable around the market access issues that are raised today. How do we partner to leverage for the CFTA and build the necessary value chains? How do we partner around access to finance? It will be important that we maintain the momentum through continuous engagement, no matter how small, so that by the time we get to the 2022 summit, which we are also hopeful we can elevate to presidential level of both our countries, we'll have a sizable amount of solid issues that we put on the table and report on progress on the collaboration that we've started today. So please rest assured that this is not a talk shop. I think it was the president of BBC that said the ultra critics would say, are we just talking in the shop? Our endeavor is for that not to be. Our endeavor is for us to have this as the beginning of a very, very important conversation, because post-COVID economic reconstruction needs out-of-the-box instruments. And we have not done this before, so this is one of those. So thank you so much for spending the day with us. And thank you very much for your participation, your contribution, to all the panelists, all the speakers. We really, really appreciate it. And a lot of thanks to the US government as well, and the different officials that have been working with us in putting this together, working with South African government, BBC, as well as the National Business League of the US. Much appreciated. So thank you so much to everybody who joined us in the different platforms. Please keep your eye on the respective websites, on the DTI website, DTIC website, as well as the South African Embassy website, because we intend then to post for you any updates that emanate out of this session, including once approval has been granted, including posting the recording of today's session. So we really appreciate all your time. Thank you very much. I bid you all a great afternoon or great evening, depending on where you are in the US or South Africa. Thank you, everybody.